Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the new GuoGuan YueXiao. But first, a big thank you to Cubes4Speed for sending this over. If you want your puzzles at a good price and with extremely fast shipping, definitely go check them out. This is a new 56mm 3x3 produced by YJ and released under the brand name GuoGuan. That puts them on the same level as other YJ brands like Moyu and Kong's Design. So hopefully we can expect more puzzles under this name in the future. And if the YueXiao is any indication of what's to come, it's easy to say that I'm pretty excited. So firstly, this is a really light puzzle, and there are a couple reasons for this. The corners are hollow, and the hardware that's used is a bit less bulky than usual. And since we're on the topic of hardware, let's talk about the mechanism. A few people have called this an octopus core, and that is incorrect. Even though the arms of the core have been reinforced, which I like by the way, the octopus core is made of studs that fit through the pieces and attach to nuts in order to tension. The YueXiao, by contrast, uses a traditional core and screw design, but with some slight modifications. The screws are smaller and have less room to wiggle, which is one of the things that give this cube its very stable feel. And I also think this design will make it really difficult to have a screw in noticeably crooked. On the old style cores, I still have that problem sometimes, and it really messes up the feel of my puzzle. Also, in the YueXiao, the springs and washers are positioned differently, but I see no real advantage or disadvantage to this. It just looks like there's no hardware swaps in the near future for this puzzle. Now when you take a close look at the pieces, you can tell that this 3x3 was highly inspired by the Kong's Design Mei Ying. The edges and corners have basically the same shape with some small changes. The tracks and indents are different on these puzzles, and the torpedo mechanism on the edge differs somewhat, with the YueXiao having a more thin and shallow design. The corners on both of these puzzles are squared off and hollow, but the YueXiao has smaller cuts and a few small tracks rather than a diamond-shaped indent. And these corners, like all square corners, completely do away with the problem of getting twists during solves. Out of the box, it was a bit scratchy, as all dry puzzles are, and I did get that small catching issue that most square corner designs have. But this went away after I broke the puzzle in, lubed the pieces with some Traxxas 10K, and retensioned it myself. Since then, I've had absolutely no problems, and I love solving this 3x3. So to sum it all up, this is a fantastic puzzle. The corner cutting is some of the best we've seen, definitely on par with the GAN's 356, if not better. And the turning is super light and snappy. It takes very little force to get the puzzle going, but yet it stays really controllable. I think where it's a light design, there's less momentum to carry the pieces too far and overshoot like I typically do on fast puzzles. So in my opinion, it's the best 3x3 that YJ has produced, honestly, and a definite contender for the top 3x3 on the whole market. So at only $15 from Cubes4Speed, I would recommend this puzzle to anyone, beginner to advanced. If you're looking for an upgraded 3x3, this is your puzzle. I honestly think a lot of speed solvers will make this their main, especially coming from puzzles like the Tenglong or Along GT that are a bit heavier and kind of blocky. There isn't much comparison in my opinion. This 3x3 is far better. So if you're interested in picking this puzzle up, I'll put a link down in the description where you can go check it out. And I really hope you enjoyed this, guys, and maybe even learned something about the new YueXiao. And if you did either of those, please leave a like. It helps out more than you know. So I really appreciate you watching, like I said, and you'll hear from me really soon. Later, guys. What's going on, guys? Cubeologist here again. Got a few things to talk about, so let's get into it really quickly. First off, I want to address these videos. So you guys know that I do these Average of 5 commentaries, and they're pretty popular. People seem to really like them. But I found out at my last competition that there are some misconceptions. So just so you all know, these are my best averages of the day. So I'll sit down and do 20 minutes of practice, maybe an hour of practice if you see a really good average on here. And sometimes I just...